alien species, the Draconians. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Hidden Truth. We've explored many races across the stars, the Zeta Reticulan Greys, the tall benevolent Nordics, the wise Syrians, the spiritual Arcturians, the ancient Anunnaki, the artistic Vegans, the regal Lyrans, the mysterious Amites, the freedom-focused Procyon, the nuanced Solipsi Ray, the approachable Alpha Centaurians, the complex Orions, and the Reptilians. Today we're focusing on the apex of the Reptilian hierarchy, the most powerful, ancient, and feared group in this entire narrative. The Draconians, also known as the Alpha Draconian Empire or Chiakar. They are primarily associated with the Draco constellation, particularly the star Thuban, Alpha Draconis, which was once the pole star. In modern UFO, conspiracy, and galactic lore, the Draconians are portrayed as one of the oldest, most advanced, and most dominant extraterrestrial civilizations in this sector of the galaxy. They are frequently described as the original or driving force behind the broader reptilian power structure, sitting at the top of a vast hierarchical empire. Physically, Draconians are typically depicted as significantly larger and more imposing than other reptilian variants. The ruling class, or royals, are often described as 7 to 15 feet tall or more, with an extremely muscular and powerful build, broad chest, strong limbs, and an overall presence that radiates dominance. Their skin is thick and scaly, ranging from dark green to brownish gray, black, or reddish tones. The scales are tough and armored. Their heads are elongated with prominent bony ridges, horns, or crests. Eyes are large with vertical slit pupils, frequently glowing red, yellow, or gold, conveying cold intelligence and predatory awareness. The mouth is wide with sharp teeth or fangs, giving the face a fierce and commanding appearance. Some accounts mention wings, especially in royal or warrior castes, a tail, and clawed hands and feet. Overall, they embody the archetype of an ancient apex predator species, regal yet terrifying. The Draconians are said to originate from the Alpha Draconis, Thuban system, or the broader Draco constellation. Their civilization is portrayed as extremely ancient, potentially millions of years old, and highly evolved in terms of technology, warfare, and hierarchical organization. Many sources claim they were among the first races to achieve dominance in this part of the galaxy. The Alpha Draconian Empire is depicted as a vast, expansionist civilization built on conquest, genetic manipulation, and strict hierarchical control. It is often described as a feudal or caste-based empire with royal bloodlines at the top, followed by warrior, administrator, and worker classes. Loyalty to the empire and the ruling bloodlines is emphasized as a core value. Over eons, the Draconians are said to have expanded their influence through military force, strategic alliances, and subtle infiltration of other civilizations. A recurring narrative is that the Draconians have a long history of conflict with other major races, particularly Lyran-derived humanoid groups and positive extraterrestrial alliances. These conflicts allegedly resulted in refugee migrations, destroyed worlds, and ongoing galactic power struggles. The Draconians are frequently portrayed as the driving force behind many regressive alliances, including partnerships with certain gray factions and other service-to-self-oriented groups. Draconian society is almost universally described as rigidly hierarchical and authoritarian. The ruling class, often called the royal or elite Draconians, holds absolute power, with lower castes bred or engineered for specific roles. Discipline, obedience, and dominance are core cultural values. Their technology is highly advanced, with a strong focus on military applications, genetic engineering, consciousness control, and energy weapons. Spacecraft are typically large, black triangular or cigar-shaped vessels, often equipped with cloaking and advanced propulsion systems. Their agenda on Earth is one of the most central and debated topics in Draconian lore. In most accounts, the Draconians, or their proxies and hybrids, are said to seek long-term strategic control over humanity. Common claims include influence over global elites, bloodlines, and institutions through hybridization and subtle manipulation. Participation in underground bases and black-budget projects involving genetic experiments and technology exchanges. Use of fear, division, and energetic harvesting to maintain control and feed their own energetic needs. And a long-term goal of establishing a New World Order or global control system aligned with their hierarchical model. Some sources distinguish between different Draconian factions, with the most aggressive Alpha Draconians representing the Imperial core, while smaller or renegade groups may operate with different agendas. However, the dominant narrative frames the Draconian Empire as a primary regressive force in galactic affairs. The Draconians feature prominently in several key areas of UFO and conspiracy literature. David Icke's work strongly associates them with shape-shifting reptilian elites and global control, often linking them to Draconian bloodlines. Alex Collier's contactee accounts provided early detailed descriptions of Draconian hierarchies, alliances with Greys, and influence on Earth. Elena Danan and related galactic compilations explicitly name the Chiakar as a major Draconian empire with a history of conquest and genetic programs. The Law of 1/Ra material describes service to self forces from the Orion/Draco region as major players in galactic conquest and mind control. Whistleblower and underground base lore, including Phil Schneider's Dulce base allegations, describe violent encounters with reptilians. Starseed and conspiracy communities include many who identify as having Draconian/reptilian soul aspects or bloodlines, often describing intense power dynamics and the challenge of integrating shadow traits. There is no single dominant, well-verified physical event that anchors the Draconians. Their presence is largely ideological and interpretive, used to explain patterns of power, secrecy, and control in human society. Credibility remains one of the biggest challenges. Virtually no physical evidence exists. No crashed craft, implants, mass sightings, or authenticated documents have been independently verified as Draconian in origin. The material relies heavily on channeled information, contactee testimony, whistleblower claims, and symbolic interpretations. Skeptics view the Draconian Empire narrative as a modern myth that combines ancient dragon-serpent symbolism, Gnostic dualism, and contemporary fears about hidden global elites. The shape-shifting hybrid concept is often criticized as unfalsifiable. Supporters argue that the consistency of descriptions across independent sources and their explanatory power regarding global power structures suggest a genuine underlying phenomenon. As of 2026, the Draconians remain one of the most discussed and feared races in UFO, conspiracy, and starseed circles. They appear regularly in videos about galactic hierarchies, ancient aliens, underground bases, and global control theories. Interest tends to come from those exploring themes of hidden power, duality, spiritual warfare, and humanity's struggle for sovereignty. In summary, the Draconians, Alpha Draconian Empire, are portrayed as an ancient, powerful, hierarchically organized civilization from the Draco constellation with significant influence in galactic affairs and alleged long-term involvement in Earth's power structures. They are often depicted with advanced technology, strategic intelligence, and a focus on control and domination. Information about them is drawn primarily from channeled material, contactee accounts, and interpretive conspiracy lore, with no independent physical corroboration. They represent a major archetypal force in modern UFO mythology, embodying themes of empire, hierarchy, conquest, and the shadow side of power. Whether viewed as literal extraterrestrial players, symbolic representations of control systems, or a blend of both, the Draconians continue to fascinate and provoke those seeking to understand humanity's cosmic context and hidden influences. What do you think? Do the Draconians feel like the ultimate ancient empire pulling strings from the shadows? Or do you see them as symbolic representations of power and control? Have you encountered Draconian-related stories or experiences that stood out to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. If this video helped you explore one of the most feared and influential races in galactic lore, please hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next species, and ring the bell for notifications. Next time, we'll continue our journey through the stars with another fascinating civilization. Thanks for watching. Stay aware, stay sovereign, and keep questioning. I'll see you in the next one.